In February 2019, I purchased this 1980 Viscount Caravan for $2,500. It's always been my intention to restore this van to its former glory, at least somewhat, and go camping with it. Thanks to a combination of lack of motivation and commitments with my day job, I haven't been able to work on this. This changes in February 2020. I hope to at least attempt to make a dent in restoring this, fixing all the major issues with rust and paint, and document it on the way. This series will basically be a do's and don'ts of how to restore a caravan, and for that matter, how to and not to tackle a project like this. I call this the Roadrunner project.
Yeah, everyone, Daniel here. So it's been a bit of a wait for the second video in this series. I almost wasn't going to do it. I kind of gave up not long after we did the first video, and I'm kind of annoyed at myself for that. So today I wanted to actually start doing some work on this van. Today I'm going to actually start sanding the paint off and maybe start getting it ready for painting, and possibly even reseal. So sorry for the lighting here. I'm shooting in my kitchen, it's a bit messy. We shall see where we go from here. I'm going to set the camera up outside on the van while I do the sanding and maybe do a bit of a time lapse. We'll see how that goes. It's also raining here in not so sunny Dubbo, so we may move it under the covers a little bit, and you may also see my dog running around in the shots. One of my dogs. She's a bit of an idiot when it comes to toys, so we'll see how much she annoys me with this. Alright, so let's go move the van. So first things first, I've got to clear the little workspace. We're under my carport here. You can probably hear a bit of car noise behind you. Don't worry, I won't do too many pieces to camera while that's happening. But I need to clean this space out. This is where I usually store my wood, which you may see in the background here. So move that out of the road, go and move the van up. You can see the van up here behind me, and let's see how we go. So as you can see, I have some space down this side to do my work. I'm working on this side of the van, but this side's a little narrow. First world problems, I guess. First world problems. Alright, so we ran into a bit of a snafu with the tow ball and the towing gear. We've had this happen before, and stupid me, I didn't actually do anything to rectify it. I just jumped on the car a few times, if you might have seen that in the previous footage, and it won't come off. So I've sent Mrs. to go and fetch a big shifter, because I don't actually own a big shifter at all, even. So big shifter will take the tow ball off. That's how we got it off the very first time. And while we're at it, she's also getting some, hopefully some tow ball lube, some WD-40, anything like that that we can
used to not have this happen again. Hazarding a guess, I don't know this for sure, but I think it's got something to do with the towing gear. In the previous episode I showed how it was rusted and it's going to need a bit of work. It's going to need a little more than that, I think. I'm going to have to figure out a way to take the tow hook off and possibly go to the wreckers and buy a new one. Oh, look at that. Would you believe I fixed it? Hooray! I need to tighten it up now, but it's fixed. So it was at this point that I decided to try and start sanding. And I was using this little hand sander and then going to a manual sanding device. I don't know the names of these, I just bought them and tried to use them. And as you'll soon find out, it wasn't working. So, well, why don't I just let idiot me in the past tell you what was going on. So, it's just not coming off. I've tried the little hand sander, little Ozito hand sander, detail sander actually, so that's probably why it's not working. But I've got some more of those on the way, little pads, because I think that one might be a little munted. Actually, it does look pretty munted. Anyway, new one on its way. I'm going to try this little thing, which, as you can see, is doing the job, but it's not taking enough of it off. So I'm wondering if at least roughing it up a little bit should make it a little easier to paint. But maybe a bathing of paint thinner might do it. So looks like I've got a trip to Bunnings ahead of me. Alright, so I'm back in my office at the moment. I had to pull the video to a pause there and just basically explain what's going on. I'm going to be honest with you. When I planned this video series, I didn't actually plan it that well. I never scripted it, never sat down and wrote, this is exactly what I want to do with this series, with this camper, this caravan. What I basically did was, on the first day of filming, actually, I was excited. I got up, I had a look at the van, went outside, had a look at it in my driveway and said, I'm going to do something about that today. I don't know what, but I'm going to start it. So I drove myself to Bunnings, and halfway to Bunnings I rang up my mate Clay. Thank you, Clay. He's the guy who helped me in episode 1 to wash the van down, and said, hey mate, you want to help me with the project? And roped him in. We'd spoken about it previously and he'd said that he was very much interested. He has a little bit of experience in painting. He was an apprentice painter way back in the day, way back in dinosaur times. And I thought, yeah, okay, I've got somebody who knows how to paint, somebody who knows how to cut in, all that sort of stuff. That'll help. So I was going to paint it. Now that I've had a good look at the van, I mean, not that I didn't have a good look at the van, it's just I was kidding myself into thinking, well, maybe if I paint it, everything else will fall into place. Truth is, I need to go back to the drawing board here and really take a look at all the other things that need doing. The windows, as I've shown in previous footage, but I'll chuck some footage in over here, over this. The windows, the seals are blown. They're just gone. I need to fix them, replace them in some way, shape or form, so I think it'll be a trip to the nearest rubber store. I know the jokes just write themselves there. And get myself some new seals. I've also got to have a look at sealing the door, because being that in the last month or two in Dubbo, we've had dust storms. and I haven't opened this van in probably 6 months. It's been sitting for that long. Used as a storage device, really, just to hold all my camping gear. And as you could see from the footage, there is dust everywhere. But otherwise, this is going to be a bit of a shambles of a project if I keep going the way I'm going. So hopefully for the rest of this video, I start showing some form of organizational skills. Anyway, I'll let me take it away. Bunnings. I know, I said I was going to be organised, but I swear I am. I apologise for the audio because I had to bring my smallest camera, not quite my mobile phone, but might as well have been. Anyway, so I'm off to Bunnings to get some stuff to tape up the windows. I think I'm going to start with the seals. I can't necessarily do anything about the seals today, but in order for me to get the seals out and see what I need to replace them with, well, I need to pull the windows out, so that means I've got to tape up the windows, cardboard them probably, quite likely, and look at purchasing the seals maybe tomorrow if I have the time off work, or Thursday or Friday. We'll see. Alright, so I'm no conspiracy theorist, but kind of think it's hilarious that you got a KFC here and a Bunnings over here. So every time I come to Bunnings, I'm gonna want some KFC. As my man Cowboy Kent says, you don't get full on fancy. Alright, so I'm back from Bunnings. I didn't end up taking my camera out too much to record in there. I thought, better not, I get the wrong kind of idea from the staff or whatever. So, yeah, I went in and couldn't help myself. I had to buy myself a new pair of boots. No, I'm kidding. They don't do bags anymore, so I have to use boxes. So I grabbed some bits and pieces here. Something called Sikaflex 227. It's automotive sealant. Excuse me, focus, please do your thing. Not 100% certain if this will do the job for the windows, but if not for the windows, it might do well for some corkage, which I think I'm using that term correctly. Also got some painter's tape, that's for later on. I'll end up coming back here for other stuff. In the meantime, I got some scrapers and such. I'll pick this up. I'm not 100% certain if it's going to be useful, but I see some useful tools in there, so why not? And of course the real thing I went in there for, because this always happens when you go to Bunnings, tape. I went in for duct tape. So I think that will get us started. So once I got back from Bunnings, I quickly got to work undoing this window. About 10-15 screws all told. Honestly, I don't remember. It felt like a lot. Took a little while, especially with a flathead screwdriver. Next time I'll use a drill. But eventually I got that all sorted and pried it out with a little paint scraper, a little mini paint scraper and a rubber mallet. Eventually came away, no problems whatsoever there. Cleaned it up a little bit and then I got to work pulling out the little plastic window which I plan on replacing and doing the seals on that. Anyone knows where I might find some of these clips? Let me know. I want to replace them. And also, where might I find these little windows? Once that was all sorted, I scraped the gunk off these. I plan on replacing this anyway. This all needs to be done with some kind of weatherproof sealant. At this point, storm rolled in, so I thought it's It's probably about time I wrapped up for the day. I didn't do as much as I hoped, but it was a start. Before I do though, I better make sure I cover that hole that was once a window so I don't get anything wet in there.
Hello from the other side. I must have meowed 1,000 times. Meow.
After all that, I think I deserve a Jamison. I did absolutely nothing today except pull a window out, so I'm going to have a drink. So I want to thank you all for tuning in for episode 2. I'm sorry it took 12 months to get to episode 2. I hope to be a bit more motivated to get these episodes done. So if you like what you're seeing and don't mind the rather sloppy editing, which I promise will improve, please subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.